Hello everyone, welcome to Tector.com. So let's start with maxima minima. For a function, maxima minima is a point where the curve actually changes its nature. So I have drawn a curve here. If you see carefully, the curve is increasing up to here, then at this point it is changing its nature. Means here after this point it starts decreasing. Okay, and it decreases up to this point. Again it increases. So after this, so here if you say f dash x is positive, here f dash x is negative. Similarly after this nature changes from negative to positive, it becomes positive. Here again after this point from positive it becomes negative, and after this point it becomes negative to positive. Fine. So curve is changing its nature at certain point. These points are basically turning points. Turning points. Okay, where curves are changing its nature. Okay. So now let's understand maxima minima. Here if you see at this point function possesses maximum value. Okay, and here again it possesses minimum value, but after certain point here it is minimum. So this was no more minimum after some increase of x. Fine. So these all turning points are basically local maxima minima. Locally it is minimum here, locally it is maximum, locally maximum, locally minimum. But there are 2 points for this function where it has maximum value. So this point is maxima, and this point is minima. Okay, here function possesses minimum value. Fine. Now let's understand what is the property of maxima and minima. Okay, so the first property for maxima is that function changes its nature, that is from negative dy by dx becomes dy by dx changes its nature. Similarly we have second properties that for a function there will be at least one maxima and one minima for the entire domain. There will be at least one maxima and one minima. Another property is that for a curve, if you see here also, here it is maximum, then minimum, maximum, minimum. Okay, so these turning points should occur alternatively. So maxima and minima should occur alternatively. Okay, they should occur alternatively. So these are the properties. Another property is if dy by dx, okay, dy by dx doesn't change its sign, dy by dx doesn't change its sign, for dy by dx no sign change, then in this case it will be neither maxima nor minima. Okay, so these are the properties. Now let's understand how to find maxima and minima. So the next step is to find out maxima or minima for a function. So how do we proceed to find out maxima or minima? I'll list it down. So the first one is we will find out for fx, we will find out f dash x and we will equate it with 0. Fine. So by doing this we will get some value of x. So those values will be our critical point. critical points. Okay, how do we do this? By equating f dash x equal to 0 and solving. Okay, so this we can get two values, or depending upon the equation we will get values of x that will be critical point, including the endpoints of the function up to where the function is defined. Okay, now at third step we will find out f double dash x. Fine, so we will find out f double dash x and we will put the values in f double dash x. Values means what values? Values that is a, b, c, whatever, which we have found out here in the second step. Fine, so these values we will put. If f double dash x is greater than 0, okay, then we will say this is minima. If f double dash x is less than 0, we will say it is maxima. Okay, so let's say I'll put a. So if f double dash a is greater than 0, we will say a is a point of minima. If less than 0, we will say a is a point of minima. But what if equal to 0? So if it is equal to 0, then we will go and find out what? We will proceed and again we will find out f triple dash x. Fine, so if f triple dash x equal to 0, fine, then we will go and again find out f4x. Now again if f4x is greater than 0, then the same thing, minima. If less than 0, maxima. Okay, and if equal to 0, then again we will go and find out f5x. Okay, and then if it is equal to 0, then f6x, we will check f6x is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, the point is minima. If less than 0, maxima. Or if equal to 0, likewise we will proceed. So in general what I am doing, I am going up to fn x. So I am proceeding this up to n where n is even. Okay, n is even. Fine, and if f n minus 1 is equal to 0, I am proceeding up to fn, and depending upon the value of fn, whether it is negative or positive, we are deciding whether it is maxima or minima. For example, we came here and up to f double dash, that is f2, which is even, we decided whether it is maxima or minima. Fine, but we are not deciding at f3. If f3 is equal to 0, then we will go and find out f4. So the condition is now, what if f3 is not equal to 0? f3a is not equal to 0. Okay, what if the f3a is not equal to 0? Then it means a is neither a point of maxima or minima. Okay, so there is no maxima minima at point a. So likewise we proceed. Fine, so I'll repeat the procedure. We will find out first f dash x, we will equate it with 0 and find out the critical points, and we will include endpoints of the function up to which the function is defined in this critical points. Then we will go for finding out f double dash x, and we will put the value of the points which we have calculated in second step. So if fa is greater than 0, it is minima. If less than 0, maxima. If equal to 0, then we will go ahead and find out f3x. Okay, and then again we will put the value of a. Okay, so if fa is equal to 0, then we will go ahead, okay, and proceed to find out the f4, and then f4 will be here deciding factor, not. So we will go to f4 only if f3a is equal to 0. If f3a is not equal to 0, then we will conclude and we will say that a is neither a point of maxima nor a point of minima. fine. And likewise we will go ahead and we will deciding factor will be even derivative, okay, fn of x where n is even, fine. And up to n minus 1, fn minus 1, we should get 0, fine. So likewise we will proceed and calculate. I hope you understand it. Thanks for watching.